Thanks for putting this together this morning. For those of you who have not met Greg, he's the AVP of Sales at Guarantee Trust Life. He's going to be our contact for the new product. We're excited about this. We see it as a big opportunity for AMBA. I'm excited about the people who've been chosen to be part of this. You're the biggest producers in the country for this product, not just at AMBA, but in general. And so thank you for everything you're doing to help people and sell this product for us and you and our customers and everybody involved. Greg, I'm going to turn it over to you, and I'm going to go on mute.
Hey, thanks, David. Yeah, I really appreciate everybody joining me today. Really excited to tell you about our short-term home health care plan from GTL, and kind of a little bit of a format so you know what's coming your way. We're going to talk a little bit about the product, of course, go through all the details that you need to know. Then we'll have a little Q&A session, make sure we can tackle any of the questions that you have. And then at the end, I'll do a quick e-application demo so you get really comfortable with using our e-app platforms. So why don't we go ahead and we'll just get started. If you're not familiar with Guarantee Trust, we're kind of known by the acronym of GTL, which I think makes a lot of sense. Our full name is Guarantee Trust Life Insurance Company, but here we are since 1936, been around a long time. We now have both life and health products. So the product we're talking about today is a health chassis. So you can see why I like the acronym of GTL as opposed to confusing by saying Guarantee Trust Life Insurance Company when we're talking about health products. So been around a long time. We're located in Glenview, Illinois. All of our employees work out of our Glenview, Illinois office, and our mutual insurance company actually put together in 1936 by a gentleman by the name of Richard Holson. And actually our third generation Holson is running the company today as the chairman and CEO, and our fourth generation is actually my boss. So a really nice history of a family that started the company and continues to run and manage the company. One thing I like to pass along to new agents, just to give you a little bit of an idea of who GTL is and why we focus on customer service and making sure that both the agent and the client are being taken care of. I like to give the example of our second and third and our fourth generation Holsons actually all had to work in the field for 5 to 7 years, knocking on doors, cold calling, selling some other insurance carriers' products. So living off 100% commission for 5 to 7 years before they were able to come to GTL and work their way up to president and chairman and CEO. So right from the top of our company down, we understand the importance of being able to get your business processed quickly, pay claims quickly, pay commissions on time, because we know that we need to get that done in order to keep everybody happy. And so just always like to pass that along. That's one of the reasons why we're really known for our customer service and processing in an expedient manner. We do business in 49 states. The one state that we never try to get our products approved in is New York. Really had a solid A-, excellent AM Best rating for quite a few years now, and also zero debt on our balance sheet. So very strong company, and the last 13 years have all been consecutive records for GTL in terms of sales and revenue. So we're really thrilled to be working with you, and we're excited to build a great relationship with you. We're going to chat about one product today, and it's called short-term home health care insurance. To give you a little history, we launched our initial short-term home health care plan in 2018, and in true GTL style, we always like to make sure that we always make it better whenever possible. Last fall, we did a major upgrade to the product, and it is available in most of the states that we originally had this product going in. And I'm going to show you that in just a little bit in terms of which states have which product, but super simple. We'll break it down for you. You'll get real comfortable with it. What we like to do is also create some tools for you to use as an agent so you're not taking a lot of time to explain products. We've created a nice 2-minute consumer video that works very well. So with regard to sharing that with clients, playing it for them, whether you're in person or virtual, I can definitely recommend that. Agents can tell me all the time that clients really understand the video, they like it, and basically after watching the video, just say, how much is this, and sign me up. So definitely recommend using the video. Now, if you're not going to use that consumer video, we do have an infographic too. It's a one-page marketing piece with information on both sides. And on the back side of the page, there's information. There's an area for you to put your information, contact info, stamp, sticker, whatever you want to put on it. And the piece is already GTL compliance approved to use with consumers. So is the actual consumer video. Getting business to GTL, you can do that however you'd like. First thing, we have a e-app platform that you can download onto your Apple or Android device. You can use it on your tablet or smartphone. And so if you're with the person, you can have them sign your device screen when it's time to gather signatures. Really simple. Then you can click submit and you're all set. You're all done. Now, if you're selling virtually, you don't happen to be with the client that day, that's fine. We've got an e-app platform that runs off of our website. So you can use your PC to go ahead and log into the website. And when it comes time to gather the client's signature, you have a couple different options. I'll tell you right from the beginning that we launched Text to Sign last fall. And since we've launched it, probably 99 out of 100 apps that we get in when the agent is not with the client in person, they're using the text to sign format. And we're going to show you an example of how easy that is to use when we do the e-app demo. However, if you happen to be with a client who doesn't have a smartphone or they just don't happen to have it with them, that's still not a problem to get this application completed. We have a verification call number that you can conference your client into. They will answer a few questions to verify their identity and a couple questions just regarding the fact that they're acknowledging they're purchasing an insurance product and they have to pay a premium for it, and then they're good to go. That verification call will take place of the text to sign or a signature on your device screen. So however you want to do business with GTL, we got you ready to go. And also these applications for this product, they will instantly issue. And by instantly, I mean a couple minutes after you click submit and send the application to GTL, both you and the client will get an email saying that the application was received. Thank you for the application, and your coverage is issued. And the email that will go to the client will also have attached any disclosure forms or leave behind forms that need to be delivered. Now let's just get into the state availability for the product. It's kind of a little colorful today. So first, what we're looking at here is all the states that are in the blue or teal highlighted. Those are the states that we already have our latest short-term home health care plan approved. It's already up and running, ready to go. We recently just received approval from the states of Indiana and Rhode Island. Our IT department is actually programming those into the e-app platform. So probably within a week or two, we'll have those ready to go too. I wanted to highlight the states that have no color to them. So Colorado, Kansas, Kentucky, Montana, Pennsylvania, and Tennessee. Currently, those are still working off our 2018 product, which is still an amazing plan. We're going to get into just a little bit of the differences between those. And then as we get into the product itself, we'll just kind of refer back to that. So I just want to give you a very brief overview of the differences between the 2018 and our latest 2023 plan. Of course, we're going to get into all the details as we go, so don't feel like you need to write this stuff down. One of the first components of the product is the prescription drug benefit, which makes this product super popular just to begin with. The differences between the 2018 and 2023 plan are zero. Also, the second component, which is home health care, those changes, there were no changes between those two plans. The benefits for home health care in terms of a daily cash benefit also remain the same. Where we really started changing the plan in 2023 was increasing the benefit days for home health care aides. That was an area that agents told us right from the get-go in 2018, you know what, we think 60 days may not be enough. And we said, well, you know what, let us have the plan for a while. Let's see how it runs. And if we can increase these benefits, we will. So that's what we did. the 2023 plan has 360 days of home health care aid benefits. We also increased the amount of the daily benefit for home health care aid from $40, $80, $120 to $50, $100, and $150. We also added a great benefit, which I'm thrilled to tell you about today. It's kind of a standout feature of this product, which is a family caregiver cash benefit, which has nothing to do with the benefits for home health care or home health care aid that we already have in this product. This is an additional cash benefit for a family member that's helping to take care of the policyholder in need. And the thing that's most exciting about the upgrade is the fact that we're now working with a company called T-Care. All they do is work with the family caregiver to make sure that they do not get burnt out, that they have and are able to find any support that's around them. And that has really been a major benefit to the folks that work with T-Care. We're going to show you a special video on that in a little while. We always have had a return of premium rider on the plan. The original plan for 2018 was basically if you had the return of premium rider and you passed away before reaching the age of 86, then your beneficiary would receive any premiums that you sent to GTL less any claims paid. We made the return of premium rider a little stronger on our 2023 plan, which basically says when you die for whatever reason, your beneficiary will then get the premiums that you sent to GTL less any claims paid. A little bit more on that later. So the good news is that we have just a few states left on the 2018 plan. We're hoping to get those converted in the next few months. And we have one state that I feel like it's very important to show you some major differences because Colorado itself has a very robust plan. We're still working off the 2018 model, but you can see the benefits as I work through them. The RX benefit, the amount that they get per prescription refill benefit is increased. The home health care daily benefit increased. And for the home health care aid benefit, you can see an increase there. Now, we're still working off that 2018 plan here in Colorado, so that family caregiver cash benefit or the T-Care benefit is not available yet. But once we do convert Colorado and get approval from the DOI to sell our new 2023 plan, that's when that will come into play. Okay, so what I like to do off the bat here is show you the application questions so you have an idea of how possible it will be for your clients to attain coverage. Now, the good news is there's no other underwriting for this plan other than the application questions. And I can even segment a little better for you here. If you want to get plan A or B, you only need to answer the first 3 questions no. So to paraphrase, are you currently getting home health care? Second question, do you have any issues doing your activities of daily living, your ADLs? Third question, have you already been diagnosed with some type of memory loss or dementia, Alzheimer's? So if your clients can currently answer those questions no, they can get plan A or B. They're all set. If they'd like to get plan C, they additionally have to answer the 4th question no. But that's really it for this plan. Before I leave this slide, just want to point out a couple things that you don't see. You don't see any questions about, did you just have a heart attack or a stroke? Have you just been in the hospital? Do you have cancer currently? Are you being treated for cancer? You don't see anything like that on there. Or do you have diabetes? Anything like that, that generally you start seeing like, wow, if I have one of these things happening or recently have happened, it may be hard for me to attain some type of insurance. So I want to point that out to you because we're going to circle back to that a little bit later. Getting into the plan, I guess one of the most important things to know from the get-go is what's the age range? What's the issue age range? Well, it's 61 to 85. Also, when we start getting into the benefits, we're going to break them down one by one for you today. But the nice thing is with the new plan, the real only number you need to remember is 360 days of benefits, because that's going to be what you have for home health care and also for home health care aid benefits. What I want to do is we'll just start right now with the first component. I call it the prescription drug benefit. And how it works is very simple. Once you get your policy issued, you can immediately start using the prescription drug benefit. So you do not have to be on claim for home health care or home health care aid in order to start getting the prescription drug benefits. And we like to keep it really simple at GTL. Whenever you fill a prescription, if it's generic, you're going to get $10. If it's a brand name refill, you're going to get $25. And depending upon the plan that you're on, plan A, B, or C, you can either get $300, $600, or $900 per year. So a really nice benefit. And as you can imagine, helps offset the premium that the clients are paying. Now, generally, when I do trainings, if we were together today, which would have been great, I'll get some hands in the air right about now. And it seems to me I tend to get the same type of FAQs here for this prescription drug benefits. Let me just work through a couple of them that we've got here all set. First off, if you're saying, so Greg, every time my client fills a brand name prescription, he'll get $25 from GTL. So if he's just filling that prescription monthly, it's $25 a month. Is that correct? Absolutely, that's the case. And generic works exactly the same way. It's just $10 per refill. This is a really important one that it may not be a question that I get, but you may get this from a client, and it's important for you to know. Now, we've got a lot of clients seniors who are doing those 90-day supply refills, and they might be saying, well, is that refill because it's for 3 months? Is that 3 benefits from GTL, or is it 1? So the way that our policy is written is every time you get a prescription refill, that's 1 benefit. So a 90-day supply is 1 benefit. So based upon the client, what they've got set up for other insurance perhaps, what the cost savings are for them to get a 90-day supply as opposed to a monthly, maybe it's worth it for them to switch from a 90-day supply to monthly so they get more benefits from GTL. The big question that I get all the time is, well, Greg, what if my client is going to Walgreens or Rite Aid or CVS and they're picking up the prescription and they pay $0 for it, or $2.50 or $5? Is GTL still going to send them the $10 or $25? Absolutely. So this is a very good time for me to mention, for this product, we pay all benefits based upon the GTL coverage. So we're not coordinating benefits at all. We're not lowering benefits. So think of it this way. All we know is the coverage that the GTL policyholder has with us. We don't know what other type of insurance they have. We don't know what their co-pays are. So we just pay based upon the GTL coverage. So that's the first component. The second component is the home health care benefits. That's going to be your skilled nursing care, physical therapy, what you see on the screen, all the way down, but stopping before the home health care aid. So something is going to happen to the client before they are able to have these benefits kick in. And that's going to be either one of 2 things. Either they've been diagnosed with a cognitive impairment, or they've had something happen where they cannot do at least 2 of their 6 ADLs. Probably a good time for me to point out that we talk about this short-term home health care insurance as something that you're probably going to need down the road. We start thinking about when we're, getting up there in age and we just can't function as well, or perhaps we get a cognitive impairment. But I just want to mention, folks that have this plan are using it for temporary things too, like knee replacement, hip replacement, rotator cuff surgery. So this is something where you could have a use for it pretty soon, and then again down the road when you do get to that point where you can't do as much as you used to. So when we start getting into this, what we see first is how much benefits do we have with the home health care component. And I always like to point out that even though I keep saying it's 360 days, those 360 days have nothing to do with the calendar year. So once you on claim for home health care, you're not on a time limit here. You can take as long as you like to use those 360 days of benefits. Next question I usually get is, well, is there any type of restoration that you can get with this plan? And the answer, believe it or not, is maybe. And so let me break that down for you. If I needed to use this, let's say for hip replacement surgery, and I need some home health care. So I use, let's just say 90 days or whatever it is. After I recover from that, and I no longer need home health care, after 180 consecutive days of me not needing it, I get a full restoration. So I could have used 1 day or all 360. I recover fully for 180 consecutive days. I get a full restoration of the plan. Now, the other side of that would be somebody who has something that there's no cure for. Let's say they do get Alzheimer's or dementia, and they start using this plan. Well, since they're currently not going to be able to recover fully from that for 180 consecutive days, there would be no restoration. So I think that's why it's important that I show you some big dollar figures on here. What you're looking at here is with Plan A, the most you can get per day in benefits is $150. So you can use those benefits and add them all up to a max of $150 with Plan A. But even if you took 360 days of benefits times $150, you end up with $54,000. Plan B, the most you can get is $300 per day of those home health care benefits, $108,000, and Plan C, $450 maximum per day, $162,000. So even without a restoration of benefits on this particular part of the coverage, there's still a big chunk of money to be had in benefits that the client won't have to take out of their bank account and instead can get the benefits from GTL. Now, one of the third component of this product is the home health care aid. Those are usually, as you know, probably home health care aides coming over to help the client with their ADLs or whatever the physician, mandates that they're coming over for. The daily benefit for the home health care aid component is $50, $100, and $150. Before we kind of get into that, I just want to give you a little breakdown of what could happen and how valuable this product could be. Let's just say you sold me Plan A when I was 65 years old, and I unfortunately had a stroke, and I'm going to need some therapy at home. Maybe I'll need some speech therapy, physical therapy, and let's just say that I just needed 10 of each of those. Well, on Plan A, you can see the physical therapy and speech therapy, those are $75 benefits per session. So we can max out this Plan A coverage of $150 per day by having them both on the same day. If we do that for 10 days, now we're looking at $1,500 of benefits coming from GTL. And just like to throw this in there, for a 65-year-old getting Plan A, the annual premium's $365.68. So you can see it's very affordable coverage. Something else I'll mention too, not only am I getting the GTL benefits here for the home health care that I need, but I'm pretty sure if I've had a stroke, I'm definitely going to be taking some prescription medication, which I'll get those prescription benefits for, which will again lower my net out-of-pocket costs for this plan. So getting into the third component in more detail, that's the home health care aid. This is one where we did increase those benefits from the 2018 plan. That 2018 plans we're looking at $40, $80, and $120 for Plan A, B, and C. With our new latest plan, we're at $50, $100, and $150. Getting into that a little bit in more detail, one thing that's nice to know about this plan is for the home health care aid portion, you do not have to have a hospitalization first in order to start using these benefits. And again, one of the big major things we did with this plan was kicking up the benefits for home health care aid to 360 days. So how does that break down? 18,000, 36,000, or 54,000 in home health care aid benefits with this plan. One thing I should mention with this home health care aid component, it has the same exact restoration features as the home health care component, meaning if you use a little or use a lot, you recover for 180 consecutive days, you get a full restoration. Really easy. So another question that's very popular is, well, who can provide this home health care or home health care aid services? Well, it's going to be one, a person that's licensed or certified to perform those services in their state. States have different certifications and regulations, so as long as they're compliant in their state to perform those professional services, that's great. And the second thing is that they need to work for a licensed home healthcare agency that can provide GTL with a detailed bill of what happened at each of these services. Now, GTL does not have a network or anything like that that policyholders have to work with. So whatever licensed agency or representatives that they would like to use, they certainly can. Now, one of the biggest benefits of this product is the fact that we've added this family caregiver support system for the policyholders. So if you have ever cared for anybody, a loved one who's starting to need that home health care, chances are you're working full-time. Chances are you may have to travel back and forth, and it's really going to cut into your schedule, and it's going to be a very stressful situation. Because most of us are not registered nurses and don't know everything. So it's really kind of being thrown into the pool without a lot of experience, and you just don't know where to turn when you have those questions. So what we do is we've developed a relationship with a company called TCare, and they only specialize in working with the family caregiver to make sure they don't get burnt out or stressed. So I just want to quickly introduce you to Ali, the CEO of TCare. Short video. He does a great job of explaining what they do and how they do it.
Hi, my name is Ali Ahmadi, CEO of TCare. About 7 years ago, my wife and I became caregivers to my mother-in-law that was diagnosed with stage 4 lymphoma cancer. We became aware of this term known as family caregiving. As a former naval aviator, I was trained to navigate myself through extremely hard, difficult situations. Caregiving was one that I found myself lost in. TCare was born as a solution to help family caregivers navigate all the challenges that they go through when they are taking care of a loved one. We are born out of an academic research project that through 7 years of 2 sets of clinical trials, over 15 years of longitudinal data, led to our algorithms understanding for families what solutions at what time, what place are the most effective to help them. My wife and I thought we needed respite or home care services in our caregiving journey. But when we went through the TCare algorithms in the process, what the system identified was that we needed marriage counseling because our risk factor to burnout was a toll that caregiving was bringing on our marriage. And that's what had led us to start thinking about placing my mother-in-law into an institutional facility. And so the process of what TCare works is we engage families, whether the policyholder and the family caregiver, the primary family caregiver, typically spouse, daughter, son. The process to use TCare is extremely easy. It takes 90 seconds on a web portal or a platform to fill out a form. And through that, one of our social workers and our TCare specialists connects with those families. And through a 25 to 35-minute consultation process, they help them navigate through all the resources that they need at any given point in time. To receive the TCare Family Caregiver Support Services, it is extremely simple. We are either a phone call or a text message away for families. There's no claims process. There's no adjudication. Families can have access to the TCare benefit starting day one of owning the policy. TCare is here for you and your clients to empower you to bring a family support system so that families don't ever have to be challenged with the burden of caregiving. So, and they are spending more quality time with their loved ones.
All right, pretty informative video there. I just want to point out to you, and just in case you didn't catch it there, you could see on one of the screens it mentioned that working with TCare over the last 7 years, they've been able to show that they've been able to delay the person needing the care from being moved from home to an assisted living facility or nursing home by an average of 18 to 24 months because of the fact they're working with the family caregiver. They're helping them find the support that they need and not become burnt out. So that's one of the most, I think it's one of the biggest things about this product. It's really nice that once the caregiver just goes through that 90-second survey and then has that 25 to 35-minute consultation call with TCare. After that happens, that's when GTL will generate a $3,500 check to the policyholder, and that policyholder, if they like, can give it to the family caregiver to help defray some of their transportation costs or whatever they would like to use it for. But very simple to use, really effective, and I'm unaware of any other carrier in the short-term home health care space that has any type of benefit like this. A little bit more on the product. Here's some stuff that you need to know with the inner workings of it. There is a 6-month pre-existing condition limitation, and I think the best way to explain it is I had an agent call me in 2019, about 6 months after we launched this product, and she said, "Hey, Greg, I just signed my husband up for the short-term home health care product," and I'm like, "Awesome." And she says, "Well, he currently has cancer, and he's being treated for cancer." And boy, immediately a light bulb went off in my head. I was like, wow, that's right. You could actually attain this product if you are currently being treated for cancer. So just referring back to those application questions, there were no questions on that. So her question for me was really simple. She's like, "Greg, how does this 6-month pre-X work for my husband in terms of using this product?" So kind of just simply explain to her that if her husband starts to need home health care or home health care aid services in the first 6 months that he has this policy, and it's specifically his need for it is due to his cancer diagnosis, he will not be able to use it until his policy reaches month 7. So just a 6-month hold on using these product benefits until the 7th month, specifically just to those pre-existing conditions. Now, the client can use their prescription drug benefit right from the get-go, but it's just the home health care and the home health care aid services that we're talking about here for the pre-X. And then I also mentioned to her, I'm like, if something were unfortunately to happen to your husband, let's say that he, was at home and he fell and broke his hip, that's not a pre-existing condition. So he could use this product right away. So this plan can be used right away for things that are not pre-existing, but if they do have some pre-existing conditions coming into this plan, it's a 6-month wait. With regard to the premium rates, this plan does have an increase in premium. It's not yearly, it's every 4 to 5 years. And 2 things have to happen for that premium to increase on its normal schedule. The first one's going to be the policyholder aging into the next age range band. And then the second is the policyholder's policy itself hitting its anniversary date. So quick example, if you sold me this plan at age 65, I bought plan A. For this base plan, I'm paying $22.87 per month. When I turn 71, nothing happens yet. But when my policy then hits its anniversary date, that's when it's going to increase my premiums automatically to $31.18. I wanted to show you the whole gamut here with regard to the premiums per plan for the base plan. So you could see that these increases, while they do go up, they're not something that's astronomical where any change in their age range band is doubling or tripling the premium. And in case you're wondering, when you do reach age 86, that is the last premium increase, and it kind of follows suit with exactly what you see here. Not an obnoxious type of premium rate increase, just one that is kind of steadily. Now, we separated out the TCare benefit. It's included when you get plan A, B, or C, but we separated out the premium just for one reason. Because this TCare benefit does not increase in price. So when you buy it, let's say at age 65, $5.94 per month, you're still going to be paying $5.94 per month as you age with this plan. So that's why it's separated out a little bit. That's not something you see when you do a quote on the EAP platform, but it's always something I like to mention during the trainings. With regard to paying, most people, as you know, are paying monthly bank draft, but we can draft for any mode, and you can select the mode on the EAP platform. With regard to some riders on the plan, we do have a hospital indemnity rider, and it is something that I like to recommend as being, if your client's looking for hospital indemnity coverage, and they're unable to attain it in a separate standalone product, well, this is a good opportunity for them. Or if they're really just interested in the short-term home health care plan and they want to tack on some hospital indemnity coverage, that's great too. Some things that you need to know about it, you can get a $100, $200, or $300 benefit depending upon the plan you're choosing. You have 3 or 6 day benefit period to choose from, and those benefit periods are representing days in the hospital. Once you're out of the hospital for 60 consecutive days, these benefit periods restore an unlimited amount of times. So you can use this rider over and over and over again. Some other things that are good to know about this particular hospital indemnity rider is that there is a 30-day wait period to be able to use it for sickness hospitalizations. If there's something accidental that happened, you can use it right away. Most importantly, the premium for this hospital indemnity rider does increase along the same schedule as the base plan. So every 4 to 5 years, there is a planned increase here. The 6-month pre-X works exactly the same way for the hospital indemnity rider as I just described for the base plan. A couple other riders here that are available. There's an ambulance rider. One thing I do like about it, it's very inexpensive, probably $2 to $4 per month, and it's used pretty often. Second thing I like about the ambulance rider is when you take an ambulance to go to the hospital, you will get the benefit. There's no requirement for you to be able to or have to be admitted in it, or if you're coded to under observation, doesn't matter. Even if it's just a hospital trip to the ER via ambulance, you still get your benefit. Pretty simple. You can use it up to 4 times per year, up to $2,500 maximum for the life of the policy. And for those policyholders who do max out that coverage at $2,500, that rider will just fall off their policy, and then their monthly premium will go down by a little bit. There's a critical accident rider. I like to just describe this as you get older, your bones get a little more brittle, and when you have slip, falls, car accidents, things tend to fracture, tear, dislocate. That's what this rider's about. If these things happen, the client gets a lump sum payout. By now, you probably noticed there's an accidental death benefit payout there, and you can choose either a $5,000 or a $10,000 rider, and that $5,000 or $10,000 amount is the most that you can get in benefits for this rider. Also, a 30-day waiting period after policy issue for this rider to kick in. Now, there's a return of premium rider here too, available in most of the states that we have this plan. Basically, this one is when you die for whatever reason, your beneficiary will be sent any premium that you sent to GTL, less any claims paid. So what I do want to caution you on here with the return of premium rider is I think a return of premium rider, as a standalone is a wonderful rider. However, just keep in mind that if your client is going to be using this plan and has the return of premium rider and is turning in a bunch of prescription receipts and getting those benefits, those prescription drug benefits are counted as claim benefits. So those will severely reduce the amount of return of premium benefit available to the beneficiary when the policyholder dies. So it's probably a good conversation to have with the client about the amount of prescriptions that they take, and you can kind of from there figure out if the return of premium rider would be a great benefit for them. Last thing I'll say before we leave the rider slide here is these riders do not increase in price as the policyholder gets older. So here's how I keep it straight in my head. For short-term home health care, the base plan and the hospital indemnity plan, those will increase every 4 to 5 years in price. Any other riders do not. So hopefully that helps you. It's how I keep everything straight with regard to this product. One of the first questions I get all the time, and we'll get into that Q&A in just a few minutes here, how do they get their prescription benefits? Is it really easy? It's about as easy as it can get. The only thing that we need from the policyholder is a copy of their prescription receipt. The one that's got their name and the pills that they got and how many pills were in there and the date it was filled. That's what we need. They can just send us a prescription receipt, a copy of it in the mail. They can do it anytime that they get a prescription refilled. They could do it monthly. They could do it annually. They could go to their drugstore and ask at the end of the year for a printout for the year. However they want to do it, whatever's good for them works for us. There is no claim form that needs to be filled out for the prescription drug benefit. We just need the receipt, and then our system cuts them a check. When we start getting into home health care or home health care aid claims, what we do with that, we have a very simple short claim form that the policyholder should be able to fill out with no problem. I know there's agents who want to help, and that's fine, but we like to make sure our claim forms are super simple for policyholders to complete. They would send that in, and then when they're initially going on claim, they'd also send in the plan of care that their doctor wrote out for them, basically saying what they need in terms of home health care or home health care aid and how often. And then they include their first bill. Now, thankfully, once they're on claim, the next time that they have a claim to fill out, another bill, let's say next month, we don't need another claim form. We don't need another plan of care. You're already on claim, so just keep sending us the bills as you have them. Also, if you have one of those riders, let's say the ambulance rider, and you take an ambulance, you're filling out the same claim form, checking the box for ambulance rider, and including your bill for that. So very similar claim process, whether you're going on claim for home health care aid, or if you're using one of the riders. One of the things GTL is known for in the industry, definitely ask agents that are out there in the field that you're friends with and sell GTL, ask them their claim history with GTL. I think you'll find that you're going to hear a very, very positive result, positive story. Okay, so let's do a little bit of Q&A here. Give me a second here to get everybody unmuted. So I'm just going through here and flicking through everybody's name here. And really just the second thing that we'll need to do here is you'll have to just unmute yourself, but I think I've got just about everybody unmuted here. If you got a question, let's go ahead.
Yeah, I've got a question. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you perfectly, thanks.
Wonderful. Hey, thanks. Appreciate you explaining all of this. I've been doing home healthcare sales for quite a while, and no company out there has ever been able to use the example of a hip replacement because the requirement are that you can't, perform 2 ADLs. And with a hip or a knee, the argument has always been that you can perform your other ADLs, and that's not something you can claim. But you've mentioned a couple times. Is that something that we can justify with, with this plan?
Yeah, so the actual incidence of being what you need it for is coming from the doctor through the plan of care. So if the doctor's saying in the plan of care that the client needs the home health care, well, then that's what we need to do.
Got it. And you guys do any medicinal underwriting based on current prescriptions?
No, basically we've got the application questions and that's it. And then from there, we are just go ahead and processing the claim based upon the claim form and then the plan of care. The prescription benefits, they just come in and we cut the checks for them. So, based upon whether it's generic or brand.
Wonderful. And you guys have somebody in-house that holds policyholders' hands through the claim process?
So we have access, policyholders have access to speak to customer service. They can speak to claim representatives. Yes, we have a great customer service team and a great claims team. So yeah, we've got all the help that they need. And we actually kind of prefer that if somebody needs help with a claim or has a question about their claim, that they contact GTL directly, because we can share more information with the policyholder than we can with the agent, due to HIPAA regulations. So we like to be able to talk to the policyholder, give them a heads up about anything that they need to know. And 2, it takes some of the burden off the agent from doing kind of claim follow-up calls. And it's just, the other thing I like about it is it shows the policyholder that, boy, these guys are really on top of things. So, we love when they call us and ask us some questions about that stuff.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Greg, can we claim on if a client has GTL and they have Aetna? Can we claim
Mhm.
on both simultaneously and one doesn't have anything to do with the other?
Great question, Aaron. Appreciate that one. Yeah, absolutely. So again, we have no idea what other type of coverage the person has. We don't know if they're on Medicare A and B, or if they're on Medicare C, if they've got Plan D. We have no idea. We have no idea what their other coverage is. So they can do this however they like. And we pay the full benefits based upon their GTL coverage alone.
Greg, I have a question. Can you hear me okay?
Absolutely.
Okay. Again, thank you again for the great presentation. You made things very clear and easy to understand. But I wrote something down when you were speaking, and I want to make sure I heard you correctly. But you did say that there's no hospitalization required for the home care aid, home health care aid. Is there a hospitalization requirement for any of the other services like nursing care, physical therapy, things like that?
No, there's not. I just know we basically came out with this plan back in 2018. I know the one of the plans that was out there for many years before that, I believe, was a Kemper short-term home health care plan, and I know that they had a requirement, hospitalization requirement for using before using that, and that's just there because we're pointing out that we don't have one.
Okay, I just want to make sure it was across the board.
Yep,
Didn't
no.
require. Yep. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Hey,
great
Greg,
question. Appreciate that question.
I got it. Number one, was this session recorded?
Absolutely.
Great. I'm sure we'll get a copy of that. Fantastic. Secondly, customer service questions as we get into this. We've got your phone number. I'm sure you're going to share with us a customer service phone number, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And then when if you haven't received already your GTL agent code email, that also has some information in there with regard to company contacts and all that stuff. So you should be good to go with that. But we'll get you whatever numbers, contact numbers that you need.
And do you have different departments? For instance, one department for claims, another one for just, let's say, IT questions, maybe just questions about the application, etc.
Yeah, so what we do here at GTL, that's the beauty of everybody in the company working out of the home office, and we do everything ourselves. So developing a product, actuarial pricing, compliance, claims, we do everything at GTL. So if we've got a particular claim question, yes, claims folks are available. And for agents, we have a sales support line where our sales support reps are going to be able to help you with any product questions, marketing materials, ordering, anything like that. And they can get you right to an underwriter in 10 seconds if need be. And so through sales support as an agent, you can get yourself anywhere you need to be in the company. And then for policyholders, they're calling into customer service. And generally our customer service reps can handle any type of claim questions, but if we need to get more specific and they need to speak to a claims rep about their specific claim, they can talk to them too. And we also have email addresses for each department too.
Thank you.
Greg, how close are you to Chicago?
Well, we're in Glenview, Illinois, which is, I like to say, we're like 15, 20 minutes from O'Hare Airport, northwest suburbs. So depending upon traffic, we're anywhere from 45 minutes to 3 hours from Chicago. It just kind of depends on traffic. But yeah, on a normal day with no traffic, about 45 minutes from downtown.
Because I'm going to be in Chicago next weekend. I'd like to meet you.
Well, we always love when agents stop in. Yeah, I'm in the office on Monday, but I'm in Arizona Tuesday through Friday. But if you are around on Monday, please stop in.
Okay.
Greg, excuse me, I do have a couple more questions. And I just
Go
lost
for it.
train of thought on one of them. Oh, this might be an AMBA question, but I know we're all talking about writing this business on Monday, starting to write this product. Can we just go ahead and start writing this thing? We've got our writing. I've got my writing number. I haven't set myself up in the portal yet, but can we go ahead and start moving forward with this thing, or do we have to wait till Monday, or is that an AMBA question?
Hey,
Hey,
Josh,
Josh, this is Jacob Baumgartner here. Let me take that back offline and we'll get an answer for you later today. I
Yes,
think
sir.
there's
Thank
still
you.
some accounting work that is being done this week that I don't want to launch too quickly if we can't pay you guys.
Thank you,
I,
sir.
I
Hey,
have I
Jacob.
have two questions. Real quick, the prescription drug receipts, can we send those in electronically, or you said we have to mail those in?
Yeah, currently they're being mailed in, and you know, what clients are doing, you know, sometimes they're taking 3 or 4 of them and just making one-page copy of them. We're actually finding a lot of clients actually going to the pharmacy and getting an annual printout. But we've got a zillion clients who are actually sending them in one by one. So whatever works for the client is fine with us. Currently, they're being mailed in, and then we go from there.
Is there a plan to have those uploaded to the app or sent in electronically in the future, or is that years in the future?
I wouldn't say it would be years in the future. We're always looking to kind of improve. That's one area that I've made that suggestion to do that, and where that task actually falls in terms of, you know, IT being able to put it on their slate of things to do is I really wouldn't want to give you a exact timeline on it, but that's something that I think would be great. And as we've got more and more policyholders moving into this plan that are, you know, pretty technically skilled with their iPhones and Android phones and able to do things like that, I think it's a great idea to do.
And then my second question, the reinstatement of benefits, let's say somebody trips and falls and breaks their hip. Can they use these benefits if they break their arm or break their leg and they need to use the benefits again and again?
Yeah, so the nice thing about the plan is, first off, that the thing that kicks in that coverage is going to be if they can't do 2 of their 6 ADLs. That's really the determination. It's not as much what happened to them. It's really what, if they're not able to do 2 of those 6 ADLs, that's what kicks in the coverage. And yeah, you can have somebody who, let's say, breaks their legs and need this, and they use it for, let's say, 30 days. And then unfortunately, a month later, they're maybe in a car accident and something else happens to them. They can continue to use up these benefits till they use up those 360 days. But then again, if they happen to recover and they don't need it for 180 consecutive days, that's when that full restoration happens. So yes, you can definitely use this for multiple different things. And if you do recover from them and have that 180 days of being completely recovered, not needing the home health care, you get that restoration.
And thank you. There's not a double benefit rider if they are in end of life, you know, the Alzheimer's, dementia, or cannot consecutively do their ADLs?
No, so it's really just one of the 2 things that's going to happen to them that's going to kick in the coverage. So they wouldn't be paid double if they both had a cognitive impairment and they couldn't do at least 2 of their 6 ADLs.
Okay, thank you.
Greg,
You got it. Thanks for the question, Jason.
I'm so sorry. I have another question. Now, do you guys also have what's called what I call a 2-year look back with Aetna? You know, if somebody's had a policy less than 2 years, then they're able to look back, and it does delay the claim process a little bit because they're doing their due diligence. Do you guys have the same kind of process where, for example, if somebody uses this policy 9 months after having it, and they've, you know, do you guys do a 2-year look back? Does it delay the claim process? How does that work?
Really what we're looking at with this plan is the 6-month pre-X. That's usually just the main concern with this plan. You know, if we have somebody who is answering the questions, you know, inaccurately, yes, there's a 24-month period there, but that's generally not something that we're looking for. It would be something that we would more or less have stumbled upon when the claim came around. But really the 6-month pre-X is the big deal with the plan. And as long as the person can wait till month 7 to use the benefits, if they've got the pre-existing condition. That's really the concern with the plan. We even with our hospital indemnity plan as a 24-month look back, the actual frequency of us having an issue with that is so minimal. It's not even worth a conversation.
Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, if you guys are ready, I'll do a quick EAP demo for you guys. Does that work out for you?
Sounds great.
Hey, can you take
Okay.
into there? I have a $12 million deal. Can you go?
Okay. So if you guys are cool with the questions, go ahead and mute yourself again, and we'll just kind of leave it up to you guys to mute or unmute. So basically, when you go to GTL's website, you're looking at going to gtlic.com, and it's the same website whether you're an agent or a policy holder. And some of the nice things I just want to point out to you is, first, if you're looking for a claim form or your client's looking for a claim form, it's right there. Just click on File a Claim, and then you've got all the different claim forms populating so you can download and print whatever you like. Also, if the client wants to take a peek at their coverage, and it's a actually very good peek at the coverage, you'll see not just stuff like you've got a short-term home health care policy, you'll be able to see whether you've got Plan A, Plan B, Plan C, what your daily benefit is. If you have any riders, you can really see a lot as a policyholder when you go through the website. The policyholder needs to pay a premium. Let's say they forgot to pay one or something happened with their bank draft. They can always just log in and be able to set up and pay a premium quickly. As an agent, you're going to gtlic.com, and where you're going to start is by clicking on the agent login button. And for those of you who just got your agent code, which is all of you, the first thing that you'll want to do, whether it's starting with the GTL app, download it onto your Apple or Android device, or going to the PC platform here at gtlic.com, the first thing you want to do is after you click on agent login, you're going to click on that new user, register now. What that's going to ask you for is basically your GTL agent code, and then it's going to ask you a couple personal questions to verify your identity, and then you can set up your own username and password. And the nice thing that's worth mentioning is whether you're going to use the PC platform or the e-app on your tablet or smartphone, you can use the same username and password for both. So after you do that, you get yourself logged in. What we're going to do here is I'm going to bring up the live website now. You should be able to see that on your screen. And I'll just log in here. Okay, so where we're starting to do the app is with quote and submit. Let's just say you did an app next week and you didn't finish it. The client wasn't sure. Well, you saved it, so now you could go back and pick it up again where you left off by going to review and resume, but we're just going to click quote and submit. And now we're starting with the application itself. Hopefully I can have a lot of pre-filled stuff here to keep the time down here. I can change the birth date here. If I want to add a second applicant, I can do that right here. You can change the effective date if you'd like. You can go ahead 15, 16 days in advance if you like. Choosing the state, I'm in Illinois, we'll go with that. Click on next. And so here we're checking out the products. So let's go to the home health care. Oh, you know what? I'm going to have to change my age because I just put in an age which is too young to apply. So let me change my birth date here. I think you all probably can guess what product I'm going to be getting in a few months when I turn 61. So let's go with that. And as we just found out, if you're not in the issue age range, the product won't show up. So there you go. Short-term home health care is what we're choosing, and we're into the application itself. Really simple. Plan A, B, or C. Let's just go with A. Do we want the ambulance rider? Sure, we can toggle that on. As you go through this plan, what you're going to see is the plan, the screen will refresh and give you the prices as you go. And then as you scroll down to the bottom of it, you've got some choices. You could save it and come back later. You could print it, you could email it directly to the client, and you could apply now. So right now you're seeing the entire premium here, $28.67 a month. I'm clicking apply, and now I'm into the actual application itself. Here's a little tip for you. Sometimes I forget to click whether we want GTL to send the information to the agent or the insured. So click on the insured, that's probably going to be it. Then we're getting into the social. We're putting in height and weight here. Believe it or not, it doesn't matter with regard to this application. There's no height and weight chart, but GTL is just gathering some data on the policyholders. And let's just put in GTL's address. Now, this is putting in the client's email address is important because, again, we will be emailing the agent and the policyholder once we go ahead and issue the application, and they get a nice email along with any delivery requirements. So unless you have a client that doesn't have an email, go ahead and please put that in. If they don't have an email, you can check this box and then you can move forward. We do like to ask for a beneficiary because if there are some benefits that are available to the client, we want to make sure that they get them if the policyholder passes away. Okay, so we're already into the application questions, so we'll answer those no. And this is a replacement question. Doesn't matter if you answer that one yes or no. Clicking save and continue. Now we're into just the authorization. And this is a part where you're going to be saying, am I going to do a voice verification or text to sign? You just click that box and then type in the policy holder's name. It does have to be exactly spelled the same way as what you put in on the first screen. And if you want to, you could change the date here, but we can leave that alone. As an agent, if you are going to split commissions here, you do have that availability, but you're basically, most times you're just putting in your email address and your name. Here we are at the bank draft. Bank routing number and account number, important as you know. Checking or savings works, either one of those work. Putting in the policyholder's name and again, the payer's name. And you can select the draft date. You got some flexibility. Again, you can go 15 days ahead if you want, you know, whatever you need to do. Clicking save and continue. This screen I really love. We added it about 1.5 years ago. It's just a summary screen, but it gives you a chance to double check what you put in there. And if you need to edit it, you can edit the personal information, or you could even edit the quote at this point and change it. So you're just taking a quick look here to make sure everything looks good, and then clicking on save and continue. And here's the fun part. I'll show you something really kind of interesting. Here I'm going to choose text to sign because my client has a smartphone. And I'm just going to put in my cell phone number. And right now I'm clicking send link, and I just got the text already. So that took like 2 seconds. And now on my phone, I just clicked on the text link. Now I've just signed my name, click submit, and you can see already at the top of the screen, it says, hey, we got their signature, you're good to go. So you can see how quickly this text to sign works. If your client doesn't have a mobile smartphone, that's okay. Just want to just show you exactly how quickly the text to sign works. This is just saying, hey, it's okay to send GTL an electronic policy or an electronic application, and clicking save and continue. And this is the last screen clicking, it's okay to send that electronic application to GTL. When I click submit here, I'm actually submitting the business, which I just did. And within a few seconds to up to a minute, you'll actually see the policy number come up on the screen here. And you'll see, that way you'll have a reference point for the policy when it's issued. There you go. So this one has a policy number of GTA 6307845, and you are done. A couple minutes from now, I'll get an email from GTL saying, thanks for applying for coverage. Your coverage is issued. And that's the whole e-application process. Now, if you're using the e-app platform on your smartphone or your tablet, you don't have to do the text to sign because they can just sign your device screen with their finger and you are all good to go. All right, so how about any questions that we have here?
Yeah, Greg, I've got a question in regards to the effective date along with the draft date. Yeah, I saw you could push the effective date out, 30 days, 45 days, whatever you need if that's necessary. And if I saw correctly, you can only push the draft date out for 15 days. So would you, if somebody said, hey, I need 30 days, let's just say that. And do you push the effective date out 30 days and then that will be the draft date, the very first draft? Am I understanding that correctly? Or is it going to draft and then it doesn't affect, the effective date doesn't take place until 30 days anyways? Can you elaborate on that, please?
Great. Yeah, great question, Josh. Yeah, we never draft the policyholder until their effective date. And, you can generally push the effective date up quite a bit. Up to 93 days is generally that's generally how far you can push it. So we don't draft until the client's effective date ever. So that should answer the question. And yes, you're correct. With regard to the draft date, you can push it, up to 15 days forward. And I'm sure, as you guys know, try to stay away from the 29th and 30th and 31st of the month for draft dates.
And then one last question, follow-up question with that. So if you're, let's say, I'll make sure I understand this correctly too. Let's say if you want the effective date to be today, you can still push the draft date out 10 more days and then it'll go in effect, but won't draft until 10 days after the effective date. Am I understanding that correctly?
Well, once your policy goes into effect, that's going to be the day that we will draft them. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then for the future months, it'll go on that draft date of the month that they chose.
Okay. One more question. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This happens quite often where somebody says, hey, it's the 22nd of the month and yes, you can go ahead and draft, but I want my ongoing drafts to come out on the 1st of every month. Would they get double dinged? What I mean by that is if the policy effective date goes on the 22nd, they get charged. And then the 1st of the very next month, which is 9 days later, are they going to get drafted again? Or does that push to the following month?
It will draft again on the 1st for sure. Sure. We don't want to be in a situation where we haven't drafted them and then they have a claim and they haven't paid the premium, that type of situation. So that's a really good question. And thankfully we've got a lot of folks that, they're just looking to kind of, let's just keep it simple. Let's start this policy on the 1st of the month and then go from there. So, but hopefully that answers the question.
It does. Thank you. We just, because that way, if you tell them that's what's going to happen, they don't get mad. But if you don't tell them and they get charged 11 days later or 10 days later, then they're upset. So it's just good to know the process.
Yeah, 100%. Totally agree. Totally agree. Well, I know we went a couple of minutes over today, but I thought it was important to give you an idea of how that e-app platform works. And you guys had some incredible questions. So I also want to pass along to you just the last thing here is, if you don't mind, take a picture of the screen, pop it in your cell phone. You've got sales support, 800-323-6907. You can also text to chat with them during normal business hours, which is 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central. And email address, let's just say you like to email to get a question answered, or even if you want some supplies mailed right to your doorstep, you could call us, you can email us. And as you get familiar with our PC platform, you can also go on there and order marketing materials for yourself. We do not charge for marketing materials. We'll mail them right to your front doorstep. You can actually, just like shopping on any online retailer, you can go into our agent portal, log in, go into what we call GT Link, and place a marketing supply order, have it sent right to your door. So however you like to work with GTL, over the phone, email, or through our online website, it'll work for you. And please put my name, Greg Esposito, and gspo@gtlic.com into your phone. I'm your main contact here at GTL. You'll get a quick response from me, whether it's during the business hours, after business hours, or the weekend. Do not hesitate to email me with any questions that come up.
Hey, Greg, I've got one more question. As far as the 2 videos that we saw today, are those available on online, or how do we get those, the 2 that we saw earlier?
Yeah, we absolutely have the video links for those. They're housed on the Vimeo website platform, and they're available not only to watch, but once you watch them once, you can then download them onto your your PC desktop if you like. And I can get those over to David and Jacob, and I'm sure they can disperse them to everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
You got it.
Hey, Jacob, are you still there, buddy?
All right.
Yes, I'm still
I'm
here.
here.
Hey, has anybody talked about the commissions for the product?
I believe they were announced, but we are paying 45% first year commission, and no renewals will be paid on this business.
Okay, appreciate it.
Hey, Jacob, I've got a question for you. I know this is just in test right now, but as far as the associations are concerned, i.e. Georgia Retired Educators, has there been any discussion on this yet as far as adding this to our portfolio?
Yeah, so our association relations team is aware, and because this is just a pilot in limited states with limited agents, and we have pretty good autonomy to operate with our legacy AMBA associations, that we did not directly tell gosh, what is the gentleman down there in Georgia?
Bill Sloan.
Yeah, Dr. Sloan. We did not reach out to them directly, but they know that we're allowed to kind of operate in this way. And if we do launch nationwide in January, then yes, there will be formal communications to all the associations to let them be aware. But at this time, it's not formally added to their marketing, their websites, or any other materials.
Great. Okay, good.
All right, Greg, well, we appreciate your time this morning. If we were in a classroom together or training room, we'd all clap, but we're in a virtual marketing area, so we can't do that. But appreciate the time and appreciate you sharing everything with us this morning. This has been great.
Yeah, absolutely. My pleasure. And please feel free to reach out with any questions you have. I'm sure some will pop up, and you'll be hopefully very pleasantly surprised with my response time. So take care. Thanks again for your time, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.